What's happening, guys? If you guys saw yesterday's Tech Thursday, you saw me install a headset and bottom bracket on my new frame. So you know what that means. Today I get to build the rest of my bike, and I already have a jump start on the build. So let's get to it. So these are all the new 2016 Shadow Conspiracy components that are gonna make up my bike. So again, as you know, I already installed the headset and bottom bracket, so next up is going to be the drivetrain. I like to start off things with the cranks, sprocket, pedals, and chain. Since my bottom bracket is already installed on my bike, all I really have to do is put the sprocket and the pedals on the cranks and then assemble the whole thing. Always make sure right pedal with your right crank arm. You don't want to strip it out. For the left crank arm, always remember it's backwards, so lefty tighty on this one. All right, the 22mm sprocket reducer is installed. Now it's time to put the whole thing on the spindle. Looks pretty nice. Next, the compression bolt. The grease is still on from yesterday, so now it's time to put the other crank arm on. And since these are spline drive cranks, you have to make sure the alignment is proper. So usually I like to start with the right crank arm down, and then I like to apply the left crank arm as close to noon as I can get. It's pretty straight. You might want to check in a couple different points to make sure it's perfectly straight. Looks good. Now time for the other compression bolt. All right, so once your compression bolts are nice and snug, don't forget to tighten up your pedals. So again, the right side is pretty normal, righty-tighty. And remember the left side is backwards, so you're gonna tighten by going lefty, so up in this time. All right, and it's a beautiful fit. So we got the Shadow Ravager plastic pedals, the Shadow Conspiracy killer cranks in 170mm, and the polished 25-tooth Sabrosa Magnum sprocket. Looking good so far. All right, so next up, I'm gonna get these Shadow Contender tires. They're the featherweight version, so they're super light and they're folding. So for the front wheel, I have the Shadow Conspiracy Raptor hub with the hub guards laced up to a Shadow Corvus rim. And for the back, we have the same thing, Shadow Conspiracy Corvus rim laced up to the Raptor hub. This is the SDS V2 Raptor hub, so it allows for switching the driver from left to right-hand drive. I got the Shadow Conspiracy drive side hub guard, as well as the Shadow Conspiracy slider die non-drive side hub guard. So in the rear, I got two Shadow Conspiracy slider die pegs. And for those of you that have dual hub guards, when you're putting on the back wheel, you gotta push the frame apart a little bit. So usually I pick the drive side hub guard and I kinda just push against it with my thumb. Pretty easy. Next up, the Shadow Conspiracy V2 interlock chain. I don't really use a Supreme chain because I already have a sprocket guard, so I feel like that would be overkill. If you don't have a sprocket guard, then I definitely recommend using the Supreme chain. Watchful eye, Tony, watchful eye. All right, so in the front end, I got the Shadow Conspiracy V2 Inceptive forks with two Shadow Conspiracy slider die pegs, Contender tire, Corvus rim, and Raptor hub. All black on the attack. And this is a Shadow Penumbra Mark Burnett seat. Pretty fancy stuff. So I like to pinch my seat when I throw the bars, so I have a 2-finger height. Yep. All right, headed to the home stretch here. We got the Mike Hoder S&M grips, Mark Burnett top load stem, and Shadow Conspiracy Voltus bars, and a 10-inch rise. And a 16-pound, 13-year-old Fat Tony Cat. All right, so the quickest way to get your grips on is with a compressor. So just insert the nozzle here. And last but not least, a Burnett stem. All right, when you're tightening a stem, you want to do it in an X pattern. You don't ever want to do it square pattern. So that means that you want to do this bolt, followed by this bolt, followed by this bolt, finished off with this one. For all you brakeless kids, this would probably be the last step, but since I have a gyro, I gotta put that on. One Shadow Conspiracy gyro, bam. Shout out again to S&M and Dylan Ambrose for getting these drilled and tapped into my frame. So for those of you guys who don't know, what you need are gyro tabs, a gyro, and a gyro plate, followed by the gyro cables. And that's a gyro. All right, so I connected the gyro piece, put the stem on, the bars, the grips, had to put the lever on, had to actually put the brakes on. I don't want to bore you with all that stuff, but I think she's done. Wait a minute, I knew I had forgotten something. Oh no. All right, take two. Oh shit. All right, so I needed to fix it, but voila. She's all done. All right, so the new bike is all built up, as you can see. Headed down to Long Beach right now to go warm her up and then meet up with some other people. So we'll see if I can make a video of that. But if not, I just have to wait till tomorrow, till the next day of riding with Stevie, Tyra, and Nate Richter. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this building of my new bike. I just want to give a big shout out to S&M Bikes, both Dylan Ambrose and Chris Moeller for hooking this up. And also to Ron Bonner and everybody at Shadow Conspiracy for all the amazing parts. All right guys, you know what to do. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Cheers. Yep, she looks pretty sick. A retard.
You don't know what you're teaching these kids.
What are you gonna teach these kids?
This goes on there, right in this area.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. Get out of here.
I'm gonna put it together right now.
You're not doing. No, get out of here.
I'm gonna teach you the right way, just so he doesn't confuse you kids. You don't even need a race with these forks.
Yeah, but this is the race that goes on the inside of the.
Yeah, I'm talking about the other one. Whatever, you know. You already took it.
The collector's edition.
Real gold.
What is this? Is it real gold, you think?
Should I put pen? I should.
So for those of you who remember, this is a pretty epic BMX spot. All right, so we made it to this intricate kinetic force bullshit. Just a bunch of hoopla. It's like string and party tasers.
You cannot be serious. Wow, I thought it was actually fucking.
Yeah, man, that was like a magic show. David Blaine. This looked way better online.
It's only moving from the wind.
Yeah, what else did you think was gonna happen?
We're gonna go there and pull some strings. God, seriously.